Okay, so let's take a look at crypto today. We did get a bounce. Bitcoin did end up breaking that pennant bearish. It broke bearish and saw a decent amount of follow through on that break. And I was buying and shorting and flipping it because all day yesterday and a little bit today, because there's just a lot of volatility, and a lot of volatility creates opportunities to make on the upside and the downside, and you can make money both ways. And that's what I was doing today. Now, Bitcoin, we got a little bit of a volume spike today, but it's not very significant to suggest that this is the bottom for sure. Of course, this big volume spike from before, with the last time it hit 30,000 on that dump, critical support area. Bulls really want to hold that 30,000 support area, because after there, we're looking at quick 28,000 support. And if that breaks, looking all the way down at around 18,000, this next base over here. And if that breaks, then we're looking all the way down to 10,000 or so, that base before this huge run. I don't like it. I see a big bearish head and shoulders. There was a bearish head and shoulders up here as well. There was a rising wedge up here as well. Look at this. Clear rising wedge. Okay, I've shown this before. I'm not a fan of this chart. I don't like it. Even if we bounce, I would just take it as an opportunity to add to a short position. And that's really what I'm looking at here. And it goes the same with all cryptos. Like I said before, there's almost no use to look at some of the other cryptos because Bitcoin pretty much dictates the whole market. Look at Ethereum though. Ethereum is much stronger than Bitcoin, whereas it's not even close to its low from the dump of 1700 something. Whereas Bitcoin is fairly close. It's within 10% of that low of 30,000 that it hit. Whereas Ethereum still needs to drop 30% or so, 35% to get to here. So Ethereum is clearly a lot stronger than Bitcoin. It did set a higher low over here so far, holding the 100-day moving average, a little bit of a volume spike. Ethereum definitely looks much more bullish than Bitcoin. Although if Bitcoin does keep dropping and Bitcoin does end up breaking 30,000, I would expect Ethereum to drop as well. But Ethereum is holding up much better. Let's look at the ranges we're looking at. Clear support, 2304 now, 2300 psychological. Bulls got a nice little V-shaped recovery. Bulls ideally want to do a healthy consolidation around here and then break out to higher highs. And bulls really want to break this 2900 area on Ethereum. That's a critical resistance here. Now, I was looking at that and I saw Ethereum at a potential pennant as well, which it did break bearish. That doesn't mean it's over for sure. That doesn't mean it's going to plummet for sure. But that was at least a short-term red flag because it was a pattern that was building. And it did see fairly decent downside after that break. So now bulls, obviously, they want a nice green candle tomorrow, break above this resistance area around 2,900. That's what bulls want, V-shaped recovery. I don't know if that's going to happen. Not saying that's going to happen, just saying that's what bulls ideally are looking for. I'm a bit unsure here as to the direction in the short term on these cryptos because there was fairly high volume at the lows. I'm wondering how far this bounce is going to go before we get a pullback. Or is it already done, this bounce, and the next candle is just going to be a dump? I'm not really sure. So for that reason, when you're not sure, it's probably best to not make too many trades. Over here, I was sure this was an easy trade. Once it broke here, I was just taking as much shorts as I possibly could because that was an easy call. And I knew it was going to see at least 10% downside from that break. So that was an easy call. Whereas down here now, we're at this support, potential double bottom. Lower wick of buying the dip, a little bit of a volume spike. I don't think it's the bottom. It's clearly the temporary bottom. I don't think it's the bottom. I think it's going lower, but that's a little more of a bias. We shall see. This is a major support area. So Bitcoin bulls really want to hold this area, crypto bulls in general, because again, if Bitcoin breaks here, most of these are going to break their critical support areas likely at some point. Doesn't matter which one they are. Even though they're more bullish than Bitcoin, they might hold up better. But either way, Bitcoin appears to dictate the market. Coinbase not looking too good as well. A little bit of a volume spike today, not too much. This chart is just brutal in general. Lower highs and lower lows, steady. I looked at the financials. The financials are actually fairly decent. That's the thing. But I guess the financials are obviously very impacted by the price of crypto. So as the price of crypto goes down and the interest in crypto goes down, then Coinbase is not going to make as much money. And Coinbase is one of the exchanges that just doesn't have the best reputation. Maybe in the States, I don't know. But, there's a lot of other exchanges that people like better. And I like Binance better. If I'm going to trade crypto, I'd much rather trade on Binance than Coinbase. So Coinbase bulls, they want to try and hold this low over here, $208. If they can hold that low, you can try and bottom fish around there. And if it holds that low, you bottom fish, you set your stop loss below that low, and you can maybe make some decent profits if it does happen to be a double bottom. And if not, you take a small loss on that trade. Riot, some consolidation here, a little bit of a volume spike today, lower wick of buying the dip, so somewhat of a good sign. Some consolidation here. Bulls ideally want to push and break above this high over here. Okay, fairly high volume, and it ended up above most of the volume. So any shorts that took positions, they'd be sitting in the red. Bit of a V-shaped recovery, fairly healthy consolidation, although this could be kind of a bearish head and shoulders over there. That's what it looks like on Riot, and is possibly just retesting the previous support as a potential resistance. Bitcoin's pushing a little bit more right now. We're going to see trapping some shorts in the red down here. Of course, you would expect a bounce off of this area because bulls want to defend this area. There's a lot of volume down here. And if it dropped below 30,000, you can imagine the panic that is going to happen. So there would definitely be a big scare. So for that reason, bulls are really going to try and defend that area. They do not want to let that area go. I think it will break. That's more of a bias than what the charts tell me. The charts tell me be unsure right now. A little bit of volume spike, holding that support, very critical support area. I'm a little unsure. And for that reason, probably best not to make any trades until I become more sure, until there's a clear setup. So I'm going to leave that there for here. Again, not pretty. Trying for the double bottom over here. Looks similar to Bitcoin's chart. The lower wicks of buying the dip around this area. Okay, well, that's what we're looking at over here on the crypto. We'll leave it at there. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and everything else. Thanks.